dealing with anxiety and panic attacks during a disaster. Delia will have that one. Soon come.
After the 5.6 magnitude earthquake that rocked the island and many people sought treatment for anxiety and panic attacks at hospitals, understandably so. So zooming in now to help us understand why this happened is licensed associate psychologist and principal therapist with Tea House Therapy, Sonia Wynter. Morning, Sonia. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Delia, hi. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man. First of all, how were you on Monday?
Well, I, like you, Delia, was fortunate enough to be in a car. And those of us who were on the streets probably didn't feel it as badly as those of us who were our brothers and sisters in high-rise buildings and on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh floor. That would have been even worse for them. So you and I are fortunate in terms of what we experienced.
Yes, and how we were able to respond. We didn't do a buzzer. That's an internal joke. So let's start first of all, because we were saying I had anxiety, I had a panic attack. I want to differentiate the two. Does anxiety build into a panic attack?
It can. So a panic attack is a kind of acute experience that a person has. And by acute, I mean it starts at a given moment and ends at a given moment. Okay. And panic is a panic attack is a lot of physical sensations that can overcome you, and it's different from one person to the next. You know, they can have, but it creates an intense sense of distress. You know, you can feel your heart racing, and you can feel like your chest is caving in. All sorts of incredible feelings in your chest, in your throat, in your head, tingling, nausea, lightheadedness. But it's acute in that it starts and stops. Now, anxiety can be an ongoing experience where you generally feel unsafe in the world. So your, odd things can kind of make you feel uncomfortable to varying degrees, more so than people who do not have anxiety. So anxiety is more of a protracted experience, as it were, whereas a panic attack is more acute.
Okay. So I think because the panic attack is acute, and it's not necessarily something that you experience all the time. I think because I think a lot of people panicked from the panic attack, for want of a better word.
Exactly. It's good that you say that. So the thing about it is this, Delia, the people who already have heightened anxiety and deal with anxiety, they would be more prone to panic attacks in the event of an earthquake, number one. Number two, there are natural physiological responses that human beings will have to something as traumatic as an earthquake. It's likely that you're naturally going to feel frightened, a sense of doom, uncertainty, your heart might race, you might get headaches. All of these, tingling, those things are natural when you kind of don't know what's happening and you have this intense fear. But for some people, it can be protracted. It can create a kind of immobility. It can last for a long time after. Also we can become upset about how we're feeling, even though it's a natural response to an earthquake, as you said earlier.
Yeah, and I feel that's why so many people went for medical help, because they had never experienced something like that before, and they genuinely thought, this was a medical emergency. So, as you defined it for me in terms of how long the anxiety stays, as opposed to the panic attack. How do I identify? Because it's difficult. Maybe how do I identify that this is what's happening to me, or maybe able to identify that this is what's happening to the person that's around me or beside me?
Right. I think the most noticeable thing about it, right, is the sense of distress. So it's here's the thing, Daly. I think it's important to recognize that feeling anxious, a heightened sense of anxiety, and feeling panic in the aftermath of an earthquake is a natural thing. Okay, we have lost a sense of control. You lose a sense of control in an earthquake. There's a lot of uncertainty. You don't know if you're going to be harmed. You don't know where to turn. You don't know where to run. You don't know where safety is. And all of those realities will create panic. So it's natural that you're going to feel that way, you know. I think what is important to look out for is when you can't sort of readjust to life and keep going again, you know. There are people who will for several weeks after not be able to sleep, for example, who will be always what we call hypervigilant. So they'll jump at the slightest little thing. They'll have difficulty functioning in their day-to-day world. Those are the individuals that we really have to support and gather around. But I think you're right in that a lot of people reported to the hospital on Monday because the natural feelings of panic that one will feel in an earthquake were experiences that they were not used to.
Yeah.
And so it scared them so much. And a panic attack can be like a heart attack as well, because there's, you know, your heart is racing just so quickly, and it creates different feelings in different people, you know. And so a lot of people, you know, might have felt they were having a heart attack and just not used to these physiological experiences that could have had them running to the doctor.
Yeah. One of the things that we've been reinforcing here on Smile Jamaica and on radio as well is it's okay. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to have had a panic attack in a situation like this. And it's okay to feel the hypervigilance. Because I think afterwards people are saying, you know, sleeping on your clothes because you don't know what's going to happen in the night. And so people didn't sleep because they weren't sure what was going to happen to me, what's happening. How do we therefore navigate this anxiety and hypervigilance post-event, Sonia?
Yeah, well, you know what, Delia, I think having this conversation is important, because that people are educated and can understand what to expect will help in their recuperation right after, you know, to the extent that also I don't think that many entities, whether schools or companies or what have you, have earthquake drills. To the extent that we can prepare in that way we can't predict and control an earthquake, but we can prepare our response, you know, and that can help with people dealing with panic and trauma and anxiety after the earthquake, you know. So that's as much as we can prepare. Afterwards, to the extent that people are now experiencing prolonged anxiety or panic attacks that can become post-traumatic stress, then early intervention is very important, you know, getting the help of a professional to help you confront the symptoms and have healthy coping mechanisms to deal with the after effects of trauma that you're going through is very important as well.
All right, Sonia, always great talking to you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Delia.
All right, licensed associate psychologist and principal therapist with Tea House Therapy, Sonia Wynter.